Three, two, one. Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Hey everyone, Kwame here. Welcome back to another video, and today I want to share my thoughts on the Tamron 17 to 50 f4 lens. This is for Sony E-mount. Obviously, have it here on the Sony A7 II, and I just want to talk about what I like about this lens and how I've been using it. Now, I've had it for over a little over a month now. And I absolutely love this lens. I think this is easily the best wide angle lens that I'll ever need. This is exactly what I've been looking for. It is f4, which for some people, you would want a Sony. If you compare this to Sony, right, they have their 16 to 35 f2.8 and an f4. But I would say this is a better option for the value because this lens right now on Amazon is $500, brand new. So you can't beat that. And if you look at the Sony version of this lens, well, the 16 to 34 f4, that is $1,000. And if you look at the compared to the f2.8, which again, totally different, totally different focal length. I mean aperture. That is like $1,500. So it's are those $500 to $1,000 more value than this lens? For me, the answer is no. And I say for me because everyone's shooting style and usage of their camera is going to be different. I primarily take pictures of my life, my family's life, and landscape, nature, and some street photography when we travel, right? But I'm documenting my life. I'm not selling prints. I'm not doing street portraits. I'm not doing portrait work or wedding photography. Like, I'm just an average guy taking pictures. And so for me, this lens, more than enough, right? And I'm using it on a 10-year-old camera. I'm going to talk more about this camera later in another video, but this camera lens combination has been fantastic. Now let's look at the lens here real quick. It's an all internal zoom lens. So that's one thing that I really do like about it. All right, so I'm going to talk about the 4 things that I really like about this lens. The versatility, the compact size, the impressive close focusing, and then just the overall reliable performance and image quality that you get out of this. Now, for image quality, I will say, you're going to see pictures throughout this video, but go to my website. You're going to see better pictures, more high. They're going to be higher resolution. On YouTube, they're going to be compressed a little bit. But when we're looking at the versatility, the 17 to 50 focal range covers everything from landscapes to portraits. For me, that's perfect. Like, if we're going out for a walk and I'm with my wife and son, or even with just the dog, this is great for if I want to get a landscape picture, like of the trees, or if I want to get a picture of my wife walking or the dog sitting, on the trail or something. I can get a really good environmental portrait, but then also if I go to 35 or 50 and get a little bit closer, I can get a portrait. So I really, really do like that. Again, is it perfect in every sense? No, but for the way I use it, yes. The compact size and the lightweight design of this makes it easy to carry. And I say lightweight in quotes because it's not small, right? So just to give you a size comparison, this is the 35 f1.8 by Samyang. So you can see the size there. And then this is the Sony 90mm macro lens. And you'll see the size here. So it's literally in between the sizes of these two lenses. And the weight is in between the sizes of these two lenses. So you have, it's smaller than the 90 millimeter and weighs way less. Obviously, this has more glass in it, so it's going to weigh heavier, but it weighs way less. But again, it doesn't weigh as little as the Samyang lens, obviously, because it's a bigger lens, like if has more focal range. So when I say it's the size and weight is not an issue, it really is, and it really is not an issue. Now I've never used the Sony version, so I don't know how that weighs, but for my usage, and I've been using the 28 to 300 on this camera for a long time, and I do have it still, but it's just packed away. So I can't get to it readily. But it's about the same weight as that lens, and that lens was perfectly fine. Tamron does a really good job with their lenses, meaning they're not too heavy. They're never too big for what you're getting. So again, this just fits right into that. So I really do like the size of this and the weight of this, and I imagine if I pair this with like the A7 C2 or the A7 CR, then you're getting like the best of both worlds. A small camera with a small zoom, smaller zoom lens. I wouldn't say small. I shouldn't say that. It's not small, but a lighter weight zoom lens in the Sony version. And again, I'm just looking at numbers of those. So yeah. Next up is the close focusing ability. Now, this is something almost all Tamron lenses that I've used are able to do, and that is get you close-up photography. It's not macro photography. It's not like this lens, right, where you're going to get true macro photography, but this is close-up photography, and it does a really good job. So right now, it's the fungi season here in the Pacific Northwest, and so taking this camera out taking this lens out with obviously this camera, I'm able to get some pretty good close-up photography images just using this lens. And so it's really nice to be able to, again, landscape, portrait, close-up photography. So all the things that I like doing, I can do with this one lens. So then that leads me to the reliability and performance factor of this lens. It's again, Tamron has become a long way, and this lens is, I've never have it not focused right away. Like, is it the fastest focusing lens in the world? Absolutely not. But is it reliable? Yes. And that's more to do with like the camera. Again, 10-year-old camera, but it's very reliable. I believe this has image stabilization built into it, so you're getting the image stabilization in the lens and in camera, so you can get some pretty good, some pretty good shots just hand holding the camera. 99% of what I do is handheld pictures. So yeah, it's again, and then the image quality overall is just really good. Like, I absolutely love taking pictures with this lens, and for me, these two lenses, or actually these three lenses, are the only lenses I'm going to use on this camera body going forward, because of the type of photography that I'm going to be doing with this camera in particular is more landscape and nature photography, macro photography on here. And then this one is just fun because it's a 1.8 lens. You carry it around. If I want to do anything in low light or like night street photography, I'll bring this lens. But for the most part, most of my, like, this lens is going to stay mounted on this camera or any other Sony camera I get for as long as it works. Like, this is a great lens overall. This is just a great lens to use. And then that leads me to the last point, is just the overall joy that I've had using this lens. And I've said it, and I will continue to say it, gear doesn't matter, and it shouldn't matter, right? But you have to enjoy the gear that you use, right? I could easily say, go out with any camera, go get a Rolleiflex camera and use it. But if you don't want to shoot film and you have no interest in shooting film and it's a pain to go out and shoot film, right? You're not going to go out and shoot pictures. And it's the same with your camera and your lenses. Once you get a camera that you like and you get a lens that you like, enjoy it. Have fun with it. And if that enjoyment and fun lets you go out and take more pictures, that's even better. Like, it's just, to me, there's a line between the gear doesn't matter, but also just enjoying yourself. Like, photography should be enjoyed. Yes, it's a labor of love, but it doesn't mean that you shouldn't enjoy the pictures that you're taking. And this lens does that for me. I enjoy taking it. I enjoy shooting pictures with it, and I just overall results at the end of the day is just one of joy. Now, I forgot to kind of go over the lens. There are a couple of things that are pretty cool on here. You have a USB Type-C port on here, so you can get software updates with the lens, and you can also assign this button here using the Tamron software. I haven't programmed this to do anything yet. I really, like, that's the next step of my photography journey, I guess. My learning is really customizing my gear, really, learning about the buttons and customizing things. Because right now I still shoot pretty much straight out of camera, stock photography. I do, mess around with sharpness and with the Fujifilm. Like, obviously I've messed around with some of the recipes, but I'm learning to really set up the cameras as my own, like mapping out the buttons that I use the most to the features that I use the most. Mapping out the buttons to the features that I use the most. That's what I meant to say. So, that's my next step for my photography journey. So I haven't used this one. Long story short, I haven't used this yet. But yeah, this is, again, just my own mini review. It is a review of the Tamron 17-50. Came out last year, so it's literally a year old. I've had it for just over a month now and absolutely love it. Like I said earlier, it's the best wide-angle lens that I've ever used. As I said earlier, this is the best wide-angle lens for my use case scenario, and I can't wait to keep taking more pictures with it and sharing these pictures with you. Again, if you want to see the full resolution pictures from this lens, head on over to my website. The link is down below, and I will see you in the next one. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.